Hey, good morning. This is Paul Romero with the Sell a House Wholesale Real Estate Training number 132, and I am in the middle of doing some business here, so I got to run. John, take this away and have some fun.
Yes. All right. Real estate. Let's talk real estate. Well, because of real estate, Paul has to run, I suppose. What's going on here is Paul is working with a seller today to obtain some documents that we need in order to close a deal successfully here in the next couple days. So awesome. I'm glad that he's out there in the field doing that, because that can only mean one thing, and that means payday. So welcome to the Property Noodlers Sell a House Arizona Wholesale Real Estate Hangout, June 26th. And yeah, just welcome. Kind of thrown for a loop this morning here that I'd be having to be the one to do this hangout, take control of the situation. And I'm glad I got to do this on a Friday, because as we call on these hangouts here, as those of you who follow us know, it's Freedom Friday, where we kind of just talk about whatever it is that we feel is important information to share, typically personal development, self-development type stuff. And, actually what I love about wholesale real estate is it's all about having time freedom. That's why Paul and I got into this business, is because we had a construction background. Like, I started painting homes and houses I guess, sophomore year. Is that what an 11th grader is? Between my sophomore and my senior year, when I was a 16-year-old kid, maybe 17, I think 17, I got a summer job with a paint company. And at that time, I really actually enjoyed it for two reasons. One, it was very rewarding work. Oh, shoot. Oh, man, I can't believe Paul's gone. This is actually a phone call that I really should be taking, because it has to do with a paint job or a rehab property, actually. I'll have to call him back in 2 minutes. But shoot, this threw me off, Paul, because you're not here to throw the call to so I can answer Bobby Lewis. So this is it's a tough morning. Anyways, where I was going with that last thought is, my background, kind of give you a sense of who I am and who Paul is, and why we share these hangouts and this opportunity with everybody to join our team, is because we're two regular guys that have a construction background in life. I got to get this phone call. He keeps calling me. My goodness. I'm sorry, people. This is a very unprofessional hangout this morning. But anyway, my background, there he is. Is Paul there? Get to take over. Hey, Bobby, hold on 1 second. Paul, you got to take over for a minute, because Bobby's on the line. I got to pay for paints. But you're muted. You're muted. Your microphone is muted.
I'm unmuted now.
I was basically telling people, a background of who we are and kind of where we came from in the construction world. And then I got a phone call from Bobby, which I had to take because it's about those paints. So I was like, oh, no, Paul's not here. So I was just going to do the phone call. Go ahead.
Hurry up.
All right.
Anyway, I'm in the parking lot here at the Vital Records, taking care of some business so we can do a deal. And got one of our sellers here that needed to pick up a document so that we could get the title company and let them get this deal closed for him, so that we can get this headache of the house off his back and get some money in his pocket and let him
get on with it.
Well, yeah, I'll just leave it at that. He's got some other ideas too.
And family.
So, but you know how that goes. But anyway, yeah, I guess John was just talking about the fact that, hey, obviously we're doing a little construction there. He's on a phone call right now to make some decisions about doing one of the rehab projects that we're working on. So he's got to pay for the paint that the guy has to pick up. So sorry for the background noise. Like I said, I'm sitting on the side of the road in the parking lot here. Anyway, not quite sure where he was going there, but sometimes it takes a lot more to get the thing done than just doing a contract and flipping a property. Sometimes you have to go the extra mile and get some things done for some people. In fact,
legwork, yeah.
I'm going to go the extra mile here and turn some air on before we start sweating to death. Yeah, that's better. Gets hot fast in this Arizona sun sitting inside a metal box.
Yep.
So, yeah, I don't want to start driving. That's going to be a little ridiculous. So anyway, yeah, you got to go the extra mile sometimes and go out of your way to make sure that things are happening. It's always cut and dry and clean as you would want it to be. There's a lot of things that could be going on with the property. A lot of stuff behind the scenes that, from the street, looking at the house, you would never know about until you start digging in the paperwork. Title starts doing their work. Things start coming up. We've got another deal that this is a crazy one. There is an old deed of trust, 30 years old, on this property that never got released. You know darn well it's been paid off. And the title company's not going to insure this thing because of that right now, because they can't find the release. And the company that issued the deed of trust, that made the loan, they're no longer in existence. They're defunct. We can't find anybody anywhere to get a hold of to get this release. And if there was money owed, we wouldn't know who to pay it to, because there's nobody out there to pay it to. So
maybe make double on that.
So it's a crazy thing. We found somebody. Maybe title's going to be able to call, and maybe they can get enough answers from that guy that they'll go ahead and do what's called an indemnity clause, where they basically are saying that we'll insure this whole thing except for that. If that ever comes back, that's not insured. Somebody's going to pay. So I don't know exactly how that works, but maybe we can get them to do that. But right now, we're at a standstill on that one. So yeah, a 30-year-old loan that obviously has been paid off because we found out from the guy.
My dad did pay the house off.
Oh no, this is a different house. This is a different house. But yeah, this one they have a 30-year-old deed of trust that never got paid off, and they don't know what if it ever got released. They don't know if it ever got paid off or if it ever got released or anything, and then the company's out.
You guys could get hurt, or he could get help.
Company's out of business. We can't find anybody. The one person we talked to who was able to look it up, and I'm not quite sure who this was. Our girl was doing this work, but she found somebody who was able to look it up and said, "Well, you need to go back to your title company and just ask them to re-look at this and do something about this, because there's been 3 subsequent deeds of trust after this one by these people. So it's like, okay, generally you get another deed of trust, the old one gets paid off. So there was 3 afterwards. So somewhere along the line, that thing got paid off 30 years ago, and so we're stuck at a standstill with that one. But we had to do a lot of legwork to find something on that too. So I'm just getting to the point that there's not always just a, hey, Mr. Seller, how you doing? I'd like to buy your house. Great, thank you very much. Here's a contract. Let's go close this thing. Doesn't always work that way, folks. So you got to be prepared in real estate to have a little fun, have a little side project going on that you never would have expected, and pull some creative thinking out of between your ears there, out of your gray matter, and go out and make the thing happen.
Awesome. I kind of caught wind of what you were talking about there, Paul. So what did you have a response from the title company on that issue, or is that just something you had brought up?
No, I just somehow got led into that. I was talking about what I'm doing for Hugh here and what you're doing on the rehab project there and what I'm doing, and then that just led me into that other one. I was like, oh yeah, and here's one that's crazy from 30 years ago. We can't find an answer to. So anyway, I'm gonna throw this back over to you and put myself back on mute so I can head back across town here.
All right. Well, you know what? Be prepared to jump in and throw your 2 cents in while you're driving. It's I like this en route presentation that you're doing there, Paul. So it looks like you got everything on your end that you needed to get done this morning settled.
Sort of, yeah. The first.
You just muted yourself. Oh, you meant to mute yourself. Oh, okay. I thought you were in the middle of a sentence. Well, you know what's funny about what you brought up there, Paul, about, you know, this deed of trust existing on this property from, I believe, 1978 for $14,700, showing up on a title report that has had 3 subsequent deeds of trust attached and released. Yeah, it's quite amazing that this is showing up and actually creating an issue that's inhibiting the sale of the property. You know, one of my solutions for this is, in my opinion, you know, the title company told us that they can write an indemnity clause into the title insurance contract that will protect us from someone coming in the future and claiming or foreclosing this 37-year-old deed of trust. It's $14,700. It's been paid off probably for 20 of the last almost 40 years of its existence. If you think about it, it's 78 to 88, 98, 08, and it's 2000. It's almost 40 years old. It's unbelievable to me, actually. In fact, my thought was to bring it to another title company, because each title company, for the most part, has different underwriters that underwrite their insurance policies. Some title companies can get things done and insure transactions that other companies won't insure. So, you know, here's a little lesson in this for people that are new in real estate: is you're going to want to find a good, dedicated, creative title company that can get transactions done in the way in which we as wholesalers need to get our transactions done. And there's a couple of title companies here in the Valley that we use. And what we've found is you could definitely see the different level of service, even just depending on who you are. When you first, I guess, begin this business and you go out and you're looking for your title company, you know, you want to present yourself to them as a confident professional that knows what they're doing. And you want to make sure from the day you open escrow at your first property that you're closing on your deals. It's the best way to build a relationship. If you're one of these people that take deals into title and open escrow and constantly have deals fall apart, or you're not performing, or you're bringing them, you know, consistently bringing them deals that aren't deals, meaning you didn't do your homework before even approaching that seller about the equity that's in their home, you're going to create a bad relationship with the title company, and they're not going to be very responsive to you. You know, Paul and I now are in a position where there's one title company here in particular that we work with 95% of the time. And I don't know, I feel like on this Mark Salinas deal, I shouldn't even really be saying the name, the one with this deed of trust, we tried a different title company, and, you know, quite frankly, I'm a little disappointed with the performance. So, you know, you need to build a team and find people that are going to work with you. Title company and escrow officer is a very important key element to having a wholesale real estate business, and having one that can get your transactions done for you is, you know, equally as important. So, you know, and here's something interesting. You know, a lot of, and this is a big secret right here of the difference between a wholesaler and a wholesaler, is a lot of people go out there and they purchase these generic lists and they send mailers to everybody who's an absentee owner, or every vacant house they see around town. They do a skip trace and they find out who the owners are, and they send them letters and all that, yada, yada, yada. But what most wholesalers are not doing is actually doing preliminary title research and actually making sure that that property isn't over encumbered with debts. And it's not just about loans on the property. You got to take into account, is it an HOA? Has this person been paying their HOA? Especially if it's a vacant home. House is vacant 2-3 years and they're past due 3 years in taxes. There's a high probability that they also haven't been paying their HOA fees, which can become huge. After 3 years of not paying an HOA fee, you easily can be looking at, you know, what I'm seeing out there is an average of $7,000 to $12,000, somewhere in that range. So you got to take these things into account before you even waste your time talking to that seller. It's like, do they have equity in this home? You need to do your research. Are there city liens against that property? Are there medical liens against that property? Are there federal tax liens? I mean, when you dive into it, you find so much of this stuff, and you'll believe it or not, when we're qualifying leads, we're eliminating, out of every 100, let's say, that we gather, we're probably eliminating 60% of what's actually not a deal. That's a big mistake that newbies make, is they're not qualifying their deals before they even go out there. And what happens is you lock these people up, you get them in the contract. Not only are you getting their hopes up about closing this transaction, you're getting your own hopes up about closing this transaction, and you're bringing it into a title company, and then all of a sudden you've wasted their time because there are deeds of trust and city liens that over-encumber the property, and you can't complete the deal. And these are things that we can eliminate before even trying to send a mailing piece or market to a seller, is we can eliminate who we actually need to be reaching out to. These are actually very advanced concepts that I'm giving you that most wholesalers don't really grasp onto for the first 3 or 4 years of being in business. And then they give up on the business because they're bringing deals into escrow that fall out. And even when you do your research, there could always be the possibility of the title company finding an issue on that title that you didn't account for and didn't see yourself. And you know what? That happens all the time. Paul and I had a very rough start to the year because before the first of the year, we had gotten about, I believe it was 5 properties in escrow between just before the first of the year to about beginning of February. We had these deals in escrow, and some of them one of these particular deals proved quite difficult to get closed. It was a probate situation with, a bad deed that didn't have the right verbiage on the deed. So we had to go through this whole lengthy process, and it took almost 8 weeks to get the deal closed, but we learned a lot. And now next time we encounter a situation like this, we can get it done in a 2-3 week manner like it should have been in the first place. So you're going to learn something new on every single deal. And then curveballs are always going to be thrown at you in this business. And for us, I was bringing up the number 5 there, is in the beginning of the year, we had 5 deals that actually never even closed because of issues of title. And speaking of issues of title, there's the title company calling me right now, Pioneer Title Agency. But I got to host this hangout, so I'll have to call them back in 13 minutes. And hopefully it's good news and not bad news. Unfortunately, whenever my title company calls me, it's usually bad news. If they're able to get things rolling and get deals done, they're not bothering me on the phone. The only time they call me is when there's an issue and I need to jump in to get things fixed. So, yeah, I'm a little excited and concerned to get to this phone call here after we wrap this up in the next 13 minutes. But you know what? You've got to be open in this business to being creative and making a good time of it, and not getting too hung up on all the little things that could pop in unexpectedly, but learn to actually embrace them. Because every time something unexpected happens in a deal, something pops up on a title report, or a closing gets delayed or even canceled, there's a reason for that. And if you explore that, you can learn a lot. You're going to learn a lot about real estate. You're going to learn a lot about title work. You're going to learn a lot about properties and encumbrances and liens. And if you think critically and creatively about all these moving pieces that are going on within real estate, it's a gold mine, because each step of the way, every time you learn something new and begin to apply that new knowledge, opportunity just opens up to you in a way you could never imagine. Paul and I, in the last 57 or 59 days now, because we said this 2 days ago, in the last 59 days, we as a wholesale company have put into escrow 19 deals, of which I believe 14 of those 19 have already successfully closed, and the other 5 of those 19, I think with the exception of one, should close here by the beginning of next month. And we've got another deal in escrow just yesterday, and we'll probably have about 5 to 7 more properties in escrow by Tuesday next week. So we've created a system, and it took us 3 years for wholesaling real estate here in Arizona, and we need help. You know, I'm throwing it out there that we need help. We need manpower. We need people who want to learn by doing and participate in this business and make a paycheck, learn a system that they can apply in any county in the country. And I've already begun looking into what we're doing here in Phoenix. And I'm not going to tell you really on this live hangout what our niche is in the market. You know, quite frankly, if you want to learn what our niche is in the market, you send Paul and I an email and you join the team, and we'll share everything that we're doing with you. And we can get this thing set up in any city. It doesn't matter where you are. And I've already begun to explore some counties in New York because I'm from New York and I want to be able to go back. I live in Phoenix now, but I want to be able to go back 3-4 months in the summers to get out of this Phoenix heat and do real estate and be able to come visit New York every 4 to 6 weeks, see my family and old friends there and start doing deals there. So I've started exploring the ways in which we need to gather the information in some of the counties in New York. I began looking into this in San Diego, and Paul's looked into it up in Tahoe. And, you know, we're blessed here in Phoenix because a lot of what we do can be done online, where in a lot of these other counties, you got to have like a physical feet on the ground in that county to get the necessary legwork done in order to find deals. But it can be done, and it's all about automation and getting a team together. And we want to build that team. We already have that automation. We already have that system. And our goal and what I'm throwing out here to you guys that watch these hangouts is that if you want to learn from people who are actually doing that, aren't going to charge you anything for courses and make money by doing, and you're a motivated person that's going to dedicate their time to doing this, because, you know, quite frankly, if we bring you in on the team, we're going to be investing our time in training and developing and helping you to grow and succeed in wholesaling. Because and what's our incentive? The more we can help you to go out and get deals done, the more money Paul and I are going to make, because it's going to be a JV. You know, that's the exchange. We'll show you how to get deals. Hell, we're going to give you the leads. All you got to do is take what we give you and take action on what we give you, and go out there and invest the time back that we've invested in you. And it's a quite simple system if it's followed, and it's an amazing opportunity for anybody that wants to learn wholesale real estate with a company that's extremely successful. You know, maybe other counties are different, but, you know, to get 19 unique deals off MLS, direct to seller deals in escrow in the last 59 days is actually pretty amazing in Maricopa County right now. It's very amazing in Maricopa County right now. I wish I could have been in the room on Tuesday. Paul, I went to a networking group, a RIA group that we always talk about, you know, find your local RIA, go down there and start networking and speaking with and investors, find the wholesalers, find the buy and hold investors, find the the flippers, the rehabbers, the wholesalers, the brokers, the hard money lenders. You go down to these meetings to meet the people that are doing this business, and you guess what you do? You create relationships with them, and you'll learn so much by creating these relationships. And Paul had gone down to a meeting on Tuesday, and what they do at this one particular meeting is they pass a microphone around the room, and everybody gets about 30 seconds to stand up, tell the people who they are, what their contact information is, what they have to offer the group, and what they want from the group. So Paul stood up, basically told the group about a single wide trailer home that we have on a piece of land down here in Phoenix, and said, I have a property that I'm going to be selling, and this are the parameters, yada, yada, yada. So if anyone's interested, my name's Paul Romero, and this is my phone number. But what I really want to talk about today is what I have, and what I have is a wholesale business that was able to put 19 deals in escrow in the last 57 days. And what I want is more help, because with what I have is a system. If I can get people to help me and learn and apply what we're doing, we can double that to probably close to 40 deals a month. And he just said, when he mentioned 19 deals in escrow in 57 days, just a hush went over the room, and like, did he just say 19? What? Because nobody is in this market is doing that right now, unless they've got deep pockets and they're buying from wholesale, because I know guys who do 19 plus properties a month, but they're buying from wholesale companies like myself. They're buying off MLS or auction. They're not out there finding these sellers like we are and locking up, acquisitioning organic deals. That's what's so amazing about our system, is that we're locking up organic deals. These are deals that are unique to us. And the money in this business is made on the acquisition, not the resale. We make our money on our ability to find a good deal, a home that needs significant amount of work. We get the work done. We fix up the property. We retail it. I mean, that's what you do. And you know what? The main thing of this business really is you have to be in the mindset of helping and sharing people, helping and sharing with people. Because, it's not just about getting a good deal on a piece of property. The reason you're getting the good deal is because you found somebody that's in need of your assistance, whatever their situation may be. And they've got a piece of real estate that has become burdensome, unwanted, damaged, basically just more of a hassle and a stress. And they no longer are in a position to keep that property anymore. And you have to be very respectful of these people that you're working with when it comes to sellers if you're going to be successful. And you've got to listen to their wants and their needs, and you've got to give them what you've got to fulfill what they're looking for. Do they need a certain amount of cash? Do they need a probate done on their property? Do they need abatement, or do they need you to help them with an insurance claim? All these things. And at the end of the day, you've got to realize it's a people business, that we're working with people that are typically in a tough situation, and we have to be respectful of that, and we have to go there with an attitude of helping them. Because that tired old we buy houses bullshit, and I call it bullshit because it doesn't work anymore. People are, know that for what it is. And people see a we buy houses and they think, here's another guy just looking to buy my house and snake me and take advantage of me. And that's not who we Sell a House Arizona is, and that's not who you should be. Our primary objective for every seller we contact is, what are they looking for? What do they need? What is their desire? What do they want to get out of this property? And we help them to fulfill that. So kind of with that being said, we've kind of talked about a lot of things. It started off kind of rough because of the phone call I had, and was going to kind of get into our background, Paul and I's background and what brought us into wholesale real estate, but it became something different today, maybe something even a little bit more interesting. Keep in mind that real estate is an ongoing process. Every deal is different. Every time you get a property into escrow and you start your title work, you never know what could possibly happen. And the thing is that you want to be an open, creative person, always looking for new ideas, always open to change and opportunity, and always open to learning. And with that being said, I'm going to go ahead and end this hangout as we always do with the Napoleon Hill prayer. I don't know, Paul can hear me, if he can go ahead and come back on here live and shut this thing down, but I'm going to just end it and dip out. But I ask the universe, oh universe, I ask not for more riches, but for more wisdom with which to make better use of the riches given to me at birth, through the power to control and direct my own mind to whatever ends I may desire. All right, it's the end of the session. Go out, have a great climax, and we'll see you back here on Monday, New Op Day.
Well, I'm not quite sure what happened here, but it looks like we're still going, and we lost John. So this was probably a whole nightmare, but that's what happens with Google Plus and driving around and using hotspots and trying to do business all at the same time. So with that, everybody, O universe, I ask not for more riches, but for more wisdom, with which to make better use of the riches given to us at birth, consisting of the power to control and direct my own mind to whatever success I might desire. Everybody have a great Freedom Friday. We'll see you back here on New Op Day with, hopefully not so much crazy interruption, but maybe you guys like this stuff. I don't know. Anyway, have a great day.